Hi there guys, Roscoe here with a fresh new review, and this time it's of the brand new Jungle Hunter Maquette exclusive from Sideshow Collectibles. Now first impressions, I'm very happy with this piece. Probably going to go over the details of this guy first, and the things that Sideshow got right. There's a few little inaccuracies, but in hand they're not very prominent, so I'm, as I said, very happy that how it turned out, and I'm pleasantly surprised with the quality it is. So alright, let's go take a look at him. Got him with the biomask. I've got the Maquette Predator and the Sideshow life-size bust, so I was pretty much wanting to display this guy with the bio. But after seeing the Unmasked sculpt in hand, it's actually a lot nicer than I thought. So it's quite difficult deciding the best way to display him. So much going on in this piece. The weight towards really nice. He's quite heavy. Right, so the bio sculpt has these three little parts attached to it by a magnet at the back here, little magnet piece that clicks in. You have to be very careful that you don't pull that too hard. You might end up pulling one of the little cables out. It'll be very hard to get that back in. There's a little leaflet that comes with it that shows you, correct procedure to not damage that. You get this shoulder cannon attachment that slots on, and you plug in the cable in the back. It's already attached up here. You plug it in down there. That's pretty cool. Before you put the heads on, you have to put his trophy necklace, this one here, and his bone skull sort of sash, sort of necklace there. They all come in different sort of spots, so you might have to slide them on the leather to get them in the right position, because they're a bit over the place when you get it. You've got to get them nice and evenly spaced out to look like he did in the film. It's great that no detail's been missed, like other companies do miss certain details. They've got this right, they've got the nice tubing to here, the tubing on the arm. The wrist computer looks amazing. I'm not too fussed it didn't come up with a light up function. That's just something that can fail in the future. I know the lifespan is not very good with things like that, so I'll never display with light ups anyway. So it's pretty cool. Now his other side. These daggers, the wrist daggers here, they are plastic or PVC, so you gotta be careful with those. Now, one major gripe with these thigh guards. Now, these are supposed to be more side on the leg, but Sideshow seem to have put them on the top of the thighs. Yeah, it's an inaccuracy, but does it ruin the piece? I don't think so. It's silly that when they look at so many shots of the film they can still manage to get that wrong, but as I said, it doesn't take anything away from the piece. These knee guards there, shin guards, very chunky, and we have the base. Lots of wet look there. These are like a plastic. I feel like a harder plastic. See, they're attached. This separate piece here clicks on. The back I'll show you later on where it sort of attaches. But these little leaves are sort of glued on, I think, to the branch which you insert. That's something you got to be careful not to bend them back too hard. They could peel or break off. It's a very muddy, rocky and wet base there. Still got a bit of foam floating around. And here we have the exclusive accessory. It's the bloody skull, spine hand. That's pretty gruesome, still got muscle on it. It's really cool. I think it's a must-have for this piece. Just shows his brutality and can replicate the scene where he rips out Billy's spine. He didn't come with the one on his back. I might get one custom made to put on it, but if you don't have that, this can replicate that, you know, what he's going to put on his back later anyway, so that's no drama. Overall, quite impressive, guys. Okay, here we have him at a different angle, and I'll probably just discuss some of the inaccuracies that I've noticed about the piece, and then I'll follow on with the positives and show you the alternate portrait and hand. Alright, firstly we'll look at the bio. So the bio is pretty well done. They've tried to replicate a lot of the burn marks and the scorch marks and the battle damage. Unfortunately, they didn't have the silver lenses. They missed that. And just the shape of the bio is a little bit off. They could have sort of cut the bio pretty much about there to make it a little bit more accurate to the film. Just a little bit too long and stretched here, which does throw it off a bit. If you can compare it to my HCG one, which is from the film molds, you can sort of tell the difference in the bios compared to this one. But yeah, for me that's a minor issue because I'm going to display it in the way I showed you earlier on the video on the sides, so it's not going to be that noticeable. I know other companies have included quills on the shoulders. That's a little thing they could have maybe added. But overall, you know, the paint app's not too bad. In some shots he does look a little bit too skinny. He was a stocky, you know, sort of pred. In the film, even though Kevin Peter Hall was quite tall, the suit itself was quite big. The torso was really large, you know, and I feel that, you know, in hand it doesn't look as bad, but in photos, with the black painting on the side, it sort of does cut a bit of his width off when you put it on a black backdrop or whatnot. So in hand it's not too bad. I've got to remember that, or you got to remember when he sat down, you could really see the rolls in the bodysuit when he's checking out his trophies, for example. So he did have a big girth of body, so they could have made him a little bit stockier. I think the NECA Predators nailed that, the 1/4 scale ones of those. But yeah, is it an issue? Not too much. It's, you know, not that bad in hand, but yeah, I can see they could have bulked him up a little bit more. The netting, they've done it really well, but they could have made it a little bit larger, the squares, and maybe thinner material. It's a little bit too thick for what we saw in the film. These are all minor nitpicks. I know there's just the inaccuracies to the film I see. I know people probably kept saying, you know, stop complaining, but I'm not really complaining, just noticing the things that they could have done a little bit better. But yeah, it's not a big issue, but that's a couple of things they could have fixed. He's missing his pouch on the side here. He's supposed to have like a little leather pouch. That's not there. Obviously the thigh armor's not to the side, which I mentioned earlier. Would have been nice if they included metal blades. You know, we keep getting plastic all the time. Everyone wants metal, but they still keep doing plastic, which, you know, don't know why they just don't spend a little bit extra and do that. The legs look pretty good. They're pretty chunky. These thigh guards, really nice size. They've got that really nice chunky sort of feel to them, so that's quite accurate to the film. Don't see any issues with that. Base is really nice. You got these little tassels on his sort of knee area and his elbow area. They could have been a little bit thicker and a little bit longer. They're a little bit thin. See up here as well. So it's a bit hard to see. See these things here. They could be a little bit thicker and they're supposed to hang down a little bit more. Would have been a little bit nicer. But that's an easy fix if you want to customize or change it yourself, and you probably wouldn't damage it taking these off. You could easily put them back on. The burn marks there. Alrighty, let's switch him up and talk about the positives. Alright, here he is unmasked, and I'm happy to say I'm very happy with the unmasked sculpt. I know a lot of people complaining that there are things off, but that just looks like pure evil to me. Always been a huge fan of the closed mouth pred, especially when he's chasing Dutch and trying to suss out the trap that Dutch laid for him. And just shows the intelligence of this creature. So I absolutely love it. I know a lot of other sculpts that have him roaring, and nearly every single release we've got has just been an open mouth sculpt. So I'm really glad that they finally did a closed mouth version. Plus it suits the pose as well, which I really like. Certain angles front on like this, it's not as great as it could be. But on the side I think it's very cool, and it shows what he does in the film when he kicks the otter or the rat looking for Dutch. So he does rest that foot up on a branch. Let's take a closer look. The orange dotting could have been done a lot better on that sculpt. It's one thing that probably lets this down. And these top mandibles here, they're a little bit too high. They just need to angle down just a little bit to have been spot on. The photos on Facebook I've seen don't do this any justice. Can almost look comical. But I've seen this now in relation to my NECA 1.4s, and I actually prefer the colouring of this. It really shows the NECA paint job up, the stock paint job anyway. I know NECA got the mandibles right, which is great. But this is just another option or expression. There were multiple masks in the film, and certain little, second or 2 second shots of him, you see the different masks, his expression changes. We've got the pink. See if I can get really close here to get some detail. One little, annoyance is they fused the mandibles here together. I don't understand why they did that. Got the quills this time. I know P2 didn't get the quills, so they heard our cries for perfection with the quills, so they've added it to this guy, which is great. They've also added it to a few of them to the side of the bio. I'm not sure if we can see it in there, but there are 4 to 5 behind the bio sculpt as well. That just looks awesome to me, guys. As I mentioned earlier, I was going to display the bio. It was a given because I didn't like earlier pics of this sculpt. But now, I don't know what to do. So I do have the bio there, the unmasked life size there, and the Maquette there. So, yeah, I think I might just change it up every now and then because they are both awesome sculpts. And that just matches the body really well. Especially with the regular hand, which is here. I think that goes well with the unmasked sculpt, and I think the bloody skull or the X hand goes really well with the bio. Because when he does rip out the spines, he usually has his bio on. So this hand joins here, whereas this one joins here. So all this is one sculpt. Even the hand is all included with the forearm. Alright, the positives. I think they got the colouring right this time. So usually they paint Predators or the original Jungle Hunter, everything's been silver, like Hot Toys, a couple of the other versions, they've just painted a pure silver, which is not the case. This could have done a lot better. I know customizers out there, or myself, could do it a lot nicer, but for a company to finally notice that the Jungle Hunter is not silver, he's supposed to be really grey, a weathered grey look with green and tan sort of weathering, you could say. When he sits down and fixes his leg in the film, you really see that green grey look to his suit. It's not silver, so they have noticed that and they've finally done that. Got all the blemishes and burn marks. The colour of the body is great, which matches the head. Some of the times they can get a different company, or the company can get one factory to do the head and the body, and they can mix, sort of not gel well together, but this does gel. All the detail on the hands, the gloves, done well. All little detail on this. So much on there. Overall, I'm absolutely ecstatic to have this piece. It really feels like I have a good Pred 1 Maquette in the collection now. The original Maquette I didn't get. It's the one statue I'm yet to find. I have seen it in hand, and if I was to put both of them side by side, to be honest, I would pick this one. This just screams Predator 1 to me. I have the Cinemaquette, and this, because it has the bio option, I just feel like this, you know, just has more of that, you know, Predator 1 vibe to it. Although I feel the Cinemaquette's a much better statue, yes, but this just screams the P1, and just all those memories come back when you see this in person. On the base, if you get the exclusive, it's got green text under the base, and if you get the regular, I think it's red text. So that's one easy way to tell if you're getting an X or a regular later on. The base is a dead giveaway underneath. One thing I think is a bit weird is I'm glad they gave us a stand for the spare head, but I'm not sure what that is. It's just, you know, it's almost got like a snot look to it, which I'm not sure what I think about that. It's, as I said, it's cool that we got a stand, but it just doesn't look like anything. Looks like mud and moss all mixed together. Almost looks like slime rather than anything else. Maybe they could have done that a lot more justice and maybe make it match. That would have been a bit more appropriate, but I won't complain that, you know, we've got something to stand the spare sculpt on, but yeah, that seemed like a bit of an afterthought to me. So that's one thing that's probably the least favourite thing about this piece, is that. But overall, guys, absolutely love this piece. You know, I think those on the fence should be grabbing it. I'm very happy to have it in the collection. Just look at that sculpt. Looks amazing. Yep, sure, little things are off, but oh, look at that. That's Predator 1 to me, guys. Alright, let's go take a look at a couple of different angles, and then we'll look at the art box. Alright, here he is from the side. So you got his med kit and that look really cool. The tubing. There's those tassels which sort of don't hang really well, which I mentioned earlier. Definitely a cool piece, guys. I think people are silly not to jump on this right now. I forgot to mention, I know some people have issues with the head not sitting right. It sort of wobbles a bit. Mine's pretty solid. It's not, the whole body's moving rather than shaking the table rather than the head moving. So I think you need to work it in a little bit more. I know both the head sculpts I've got lock in pretty well. You just have to do a little bit of maneuvering and get it right in. I think the dreads might be stopping it going further in, so they bend slightly. But if you do have a serious issue with wobbling, maybe some gas tape to thicken the peg might be the ideal way to go, and it'll stop some paint rubbing there too. So I'm glad I don't have any dramas with the head wobbling. It's quite secure. I'm trying to shake this now. It's not budging at all, so there are good ones out there, guys. Here is from the back. The dreads flow nicely. You definitely can't mistake this for the Jungle Hunter. I know a lot of companies make the classic from the newer movie, and people try to make him look like this guy, but it's just not the same. You look at this, there's no mistake. It's the Jungle Hunter for sure. Definitely not the classic. Absolutely love this piece. Definitely worth the money. Sideshow he's quite quality. When you feel it and smell it, you just know it's a good piece. There's that extra bit I was discussing before. So you click it in there, this branch, and all these little leaves are attached. Looks like they're glued on. As I said, you need to be careful with those. Here's the art box for those of you that are interested. Got a nice image of the Maquette on the front of the box. Got the exclusive sticker down the bottom there. It's quite large actually. Some just jungle imagery around the box, and a really nice picture that replicates the original film shots on the back. That image there looks amazing. You also get the leaflet, shows you about the assembly instructions with the head and how to put that little magnet in, and the shoulder cannon, so you should get that. And here is the little piece that goes in that spot if you don't have the biomask on, but I'll never be using that. That's just a piece that's really easily going to go missing, so I'll keep that in the box. But overall, the art box is quite nice for those of you that like their art boxes. Okay guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed this review and showcase of the new Sideshow Collectibles Jungle Hunter Maquette. I absolutely love this piece. Still haven't even had it for a day yet, and I'm just still taking it all in. It's absolutely amazing. Still weird to see it here after ordering it back in 2016. It definitely doesn't disappoint me. Sure, there are little things that are off, but I don't get the hate some people are giving it on Facebook. No piece is perfect, and I absolutely love it. I know a lot of people out there who are waiting for this will love it too. So enjoy guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.